If you're an INFJ, you felt this. You couldn't explain it as a child. You still struggle to explain it now. It feels like seeing too much, feeling too deeply, thinking too far ahead. And sometimes, it feels like being completely alone. Even when you're surrounded by people, you notice things others miss. You read emotions before words are spoken. You carry feelings that aren't even yours. And the strange part is this. You don't ask for it. You never did. But it never leaves. If you're an INFJ personality type, this video will feel personal. Not dramatic. Just accurate. These are 12 things every INFJ experiences. Quietly. Deeply. Constantly. Number 1. You feel everything, even what isn't yours. INFJs are known for emotional depth. But it goes beyond empathy. It is not just understanding. It is immersion. You don't just understand emotions. You absorb them. Like a quiet sponge. Always open. Always receiving. Walk into a room. You instantly sense the mood. Even before a word is spoken. Even before eye contact. Tension. Sadness. Excitement. Even hidden resentment. It reaches you. Softly. But clearly. And once it does, it doesn't just pass by. It settles inside you. Without permission. You may not notice it at first. But your body does. A slight heaviness. A shift in energy. A quiet discomfort. You begin to carry something. But you don't always know what. This is why INFJ personality traits often include emotional exhaustion. Because you carry emotional weight that doesn't belong to you. And you carry it well. Too well. You can sit next to someone smiling. And still feel their sadness. You can hear laughter. And still sense something underneath. A layer others miss. A truth unspoken. You don't need words. You just know. And this knowing is constant. It doesn't pause. It doesn't fade easily. You walk through the world, feeling more than what is visible. And sometimes, this becomes overwhelming. Not suddenly, but slowly. Like a quiet buildup. Emotion upon emotion. Until your mind feels full. And your heart feels heavy. Because there is no switch to turn it off. No clear boundary. No simple escape. So you learn to cope. In silence. You withdraw. You rest. You reflect. Not to avoid the world. But to recover from it. Because feeling deeply is both your strength and your burden. Number 2. You crave deep conversations, not small talk. Small talk feels empty to you. Not wrong. Just empty. It feels like staying on the surface. When you are built for depth. Weather. Surface updates. Casual chatter. You can engage. But it feels automatic. Like speaking without meaning. Like listening without connection. It drains you. Not because people are uninteresting. But because the conversation is. INFJs are wired for depth. You want meaning. You want truth. You want something real. Something that reveals. Something that connects. You want to understand people on a deeper level. Not just what they do. But who they are. What they fear. What they hope for. What they carry inside. You ask questions others don't ask. Gentle questions. But powerful ones. And you listen in a way others don't. Fully present. Fully aware. You don't just hear words. You hear emotion. You notice pauses. Tone shifts. Hidden meaning. This is why INFJ communication style feels intense to some people. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just deep. You're not trying to be intense. You're just being real. And realness can feel unfamiliar. To those used to surface level interaction. A single deep conversation can energize you for days. It stays with you. You reflect on it. You appreciate it. Because it feels rare. Because it feels honest. But shallow conversations. They feel like noise. Like words passing through the air. Without landing anywhere. And over time, you begin to avoid them. Not out of judgment. But out of need. Because your energy is limited. And you want to spend it. On something that matters. Number 3. You often feel misunderstood. This is one of the most common INFJ struggles. And one of the quietest. You express yourself carefully. You choose your words with intention. You think before you speak. Not out of fear, but out of precision. You want to be accurate. You want to be clear. Yet somehow, people still misunderstand you. It happens often, more than you expect. And each time, it feels slightly disappointing. Not dramatic, just heavy. Because what you feel inside is complex, layered, precise, deeply structured. Your thoughts are not random. They are connected. Each idea linked to another. Each feeling rooted in meaning. But language feels limited. Too simple. Too linear. It cannot fully carry what you mean. So parts of you remain unseen. Not hidden on purpose. Just untranslatable. You explain something important. And it gets simplified. Or misunderstood. Or overlooked. And you notice it immediately. But correcting it feels exhausting. So you pause. You let it go. This creates a quiet loneliness. Not loud. Not obvious. But persistent. Not because you are alone. But because you are not fully understood. You are seen. But not completely. Heard. But not fully grasped. And over time, you adapt. You simplify your words. You shorten your explanations. You share less. Not because you have nothing to say, but because saying it feels difficult. And slowly, you become more private, more selective, waiting for the rare moments when someone truly understands, without effort, without explanation. And when that happens, you feel it immediately, like clarity, like relief, like being seen. For the first time. Number 4. You need solitude to recharge. INFJs are introverts. But it's more than that. It is not just about being alone. It is about returning to yourself. You need silence. Not just physical silence. Mental silence. A break from noise. A break from input. Because your mind processes everything deeply. Every conversation. Every emotion. Every detail. It all stays with you. After social interaction, even good interaction, you feel drained. Not instantly, but gradually. A slow drop in energy. You may enjoy the moment. You may even feel connected. But afterward, you feel the weight. This is why INFJ personality needs solitude. It is not optional. It is necessary. Solitude helps you reset. It gives your mind space. It gives your emotions room to settle. You reflect. You process. You release. Without it, everything builds up. Thoughts become louder. Feelings become heavier. Without it, everything feels louder, heavier, more overwhelming. Even small things feel intense. Even simple decisions feel tiring. So you withdraw. Quietly. Without explanation. Not because you dislike people, but because you need space to stay balanced. Space to think clearly. Space to feel lightly. Space to be just you. And in that space, you find calm again. Number 5. You overthink everything. Your mind rarely rests. Even in quiet moments. It continues. You replay conversations. What was said? What was meant? What could have been said differently? You analyze reactions. A look. A pause. A change in tone. You notice everything. And you try to understand it. You predict outcomes. If this happens, then that might follow. You map possibilities. Constantly. This is a core INFJ trait. Your intuition runs deep. But it also runs constantly. It does not turn off easily. It keeps searching. Connecting. Interpreting. You think about the past. Moments that shaped you. Moments you wish you handled differently. You think about the future. What could happen? What might go wrong? What you should prepare for? Sometimes, you forget to stay in the present. Because your mind is always moving. Forward. Backward. Everywhere at once. This leads to mental fatigue. A quiet tiredness. That builds over time. Even when you are not physically active. Even simple decisions can feel heavy. What to say? What to choose? What direction to take? Because you see every possible outcome. Every benefit. Every risk. And you care about making the right one. Not the easiest one. Not the fastest one. The right one. And that pressure, even if self-created, feels real. So you pause. You think more. And sometimes, you think too much. Until clarity feels distant. Until stillness feels necessary. Number 6. You have a strong sense of purpose. INFJs are driven by meaning. Not surface goals. Not temporary success. Something deeper. You don't just want to exist. You want to matter. In a real way. In a lasting way. This is why INFJ life purpose feels so important. It is not a preference. It is a need. You often feel like you are meant to do something significant. Not something loud, but something meaningful. Something that creates change. Not for attention, but for impact. You care about people, growth, change. You notice what is broken, what is missing, what could be better, and you feel drawn to it. You want to contribute to something bigger than yourself. Something that aligns with your values. Something that feels right, not just looks right. And when life feels meaningless, you feel lost. Not confused, but disconnected. Like you are moving, without direction. Because purpose is not optional for you. It is essential. It gives structure to your thoughts, energy to your actions. And when you feel aligned with it, everything becomes clearer, calmer, more focused. Because meaning is what guides you forward. Number 7. You struggle with boundaries. You give a lot. Naturally. Without thinking. Your time. Your energy. Your emotional support. You offer it freely. Because you care. Because you understand. Sometimes, too much. INFJs often struggle to say no. The word feels heavy. Uncomfortable. Not because you are weak. But because you care deeply. You don't want to hurt others. You don't want to disappoint. You don't want to seem distant. So you say yes. Even when you feel tired. Even when you need rest. So you keep giving. A little more. Then a little more. Until you feel drained. Quietly. Slowly. Overwhelmed. Even resentful. Not toward others. But toward the situation. Because part of you knows. You gave too much. Again. Learning boundaries is one of the biggest INFJ growth challenges. Because it goes against your instinct. Your instinct is to help. To support. To be there. But boundaries are not rejection. They are protection. Protection of your energy. Your time. Your emotional space. Because protecting your energy is not selfish. It is necessary. And slowly, you begin to learn this. Not all at once. But step by step. And each time you choose yourself, you feel a quiet strength. Number 8. You see patterns others don't. This is your intuition at work. Quiet. Fast. Accurate. INFJs are known for pattern recognition. You connect dots quickly. Sometimes instantly. Without effort. Without explanation. You see where things are going. Even when others don't. Not because you are guessing. But because you are observing deeply. You notice repetition. Behavior patterns. Emotional cycles. This applies to people. Situations. Even life paths. You can sense when something feels off. Even if everything looks fine. You notice inconsistencies. Hidden motives. Unspoken truths. Small details stand out. A change in tone. A shift in energy. A contradiction in words. And your mind connects it. Quietly. Accurately. And often. You are right. But explaining it is difficult. Because your insight feels like a knowing. Not a step-by-step process. You don't always have clear evidence. Just a strong sense. And others may question it. They may ask for proof. For logic. For explanation. But your understanding doesn't always work that way. It arrives complete. Not constructed. So you pause. You observe more. You wait. And over time, what you sensed becomes visible to others too. But by then, you already knew. Number 9. You feel like an old soul. Many INFJs relate to this. You feel different from a young age. More reflective. More aware. More serious. You think about life deeply. Even early on. This creates a sense of being out of place. You may struggle to connect with peers. Because your interests feel different. Your perspective feels older. This is why INFJs are often called old souls. Not because of age, but because of depth. Number 10. You want to help, but you also get tired. Helping others gives you meaning. You listen, support, guide. People naturally come to you. This is a common INFJ personality pattern. But here is the challenge. You give so much that you forget yourself. Emotional burnout becomes real. You want to help everyone, but you cannot. And learning that is painful, because your instinct is to care, even when it costs you. Number 11. You hide your true self. Not completely, but enough. INFJs are private. You share parts of yourself, but not everything, because you fear being misunderstood or judged. So you filter. You show what feels safe, and keep the deeper layers hidden. This is why people often say, I feel like there's more to you. And they are right. There always is. Number 12. You search for authentic connection. At your core, this is what you want. Not attention, not popularity. Real connection. Deep, honest, meaningful. INFJs don't need many people, but they need the right people. One genuine connection can mean everything, because it allows you to be seen, fully, without filters. And when you find that, you hold on to it, quietly, deeply, with care. If you're an INFJ, you felt these things. Not occasionally, but consistently. This is what makes the INFJ personality type unique. It is not always easy. It can feel overwhelming, lonely, complex. But it is also powerful, because your depth is rare. Your empathy is real. Your insight is valuable. You see the world differently, and that matters. So if you've ever felt too much, too deep, too different, you are not alone. You are just an INFJ, and this is how you experience the world.